in this relationship because I was not expecting anything. I was genuinely okay after the first time that we had, seen each other, we had hooked up, that, and after that I was like, okay, if nothing else happens, even if he never speaks to me again, I'm that's cool. I have no expectations. Um and then obviously I was pleasantly surprised that he turned out to be an amazing person. I mean, I knew he was an amazing person like before, because that's like, we had this like really deep connection, but I still had no expectations. So like, though I could tell that he was an amazing person and there was a beautiful connection between us, from right when I met him. And we spent all day together at the beach, and just talked all day about all the things that I love to talk about, like philosophy and the universe and God and all these different things, and what we believe and what I believe versus what he believes, all these different things. This is just what I love to do so much. So I thoroughly enjoyed my time with him. And yeah, I had no expectation about what would happen afterwards. But yeah, luckily we became friends. We became good friends, and just really enjoyed our time together. And yeah, so it was, yeah, like I said, it was a spiritual almost connection when we were together, and like transcendent, and certain times where I felt like just it was just transcendent. And I don't think it was necessarily about, when we're together, like I don't think it was necessarily about just the sex, or like, it's not like, oh, it was just so amazing that it was transcendent. I think it was like our souls were just so beautifully like, aligned with each other. And yeah, I hadn't experienced a feeling like that in a way. Like I've been in love before, and I don't think I fell in love with this person. I don't think we didn't fall in love with each other, but it was a different type of feeling. It was almost like love without the attachment to each other. So it was like we just had this like totally free, innocent love that just kind of like was not like, oh, I'm in love with you, but it was just like we were just so enjoying each other's presence. So it was totally different than the like love that I've felt when, say in my long term, or like, more long term relationships that I've been in. So that's like the best that I can describe it. But I am so blessed to have experienced this kind of thing, because it was really amazing. It was really fun, and I just felt so present. We felt so present. We weren't worried about, oh no, we're not gonna, you're leaving in a few days. Oh no, like what are we gonna do? It was not like that at all. It was just like we were totally happy together, and I felt like we were totally okay to say goodbye. It was sad, like, like I do miss him. Of course I miss him. And, it was sad saying goodbye. But because there was like no attachment there, I think it was just so beautiful. And just such a overall amazing experience that it's hard to be sad about it. I'm just beyond thankful that it happened in the first place. And another really beautiful part of this story is, when I talked to him afterwards, he let me know the impact that I had on him as well. And it was just as beautiful, I would say. He was letting me know that I kind of sparked something in him that he hadn't really felt in a long time. I think he might have said something like he hadn't felt he hadn't experienced this feeling since he was a kid, around sparking his curiosity and like just all the things that we talked about. He just said that he has a kind of a new, he just feels like his spirit and his soul have been kind of rejuvenated and like brought back to life in a way. Like parts of him that were kind of asleep for a while have been kind of brought back to life. And I think that's so beautiful, and just makes me so happy to hear that I can have that impact on somebody, and that I have had that impact on somebody. It's really beautiful. I really feel like it really felt like a movie. Like I say, like my life is a movie, you guys. It just totally feels, it felt like that. Like a lot of times when we were together, I just literally felt like this could be a movie and people would be crying. um yeah, so anyways, that was really beautiful to hear my impact on him as well, and just how meaningful this whole experience was for both of us. It's just really beautiful. So yeah, it's just really interesting how each relationship teaches me something about myself. And so, yeah, so what I learned about the first one is to let go of attachment. From the second one, I really learned what's possible in relationships. I didn't know that this kind of connection existed. I've never experienced this type of connection before. And so that really taught me what's possible, and it makes me really excited about what else is out there for me, who else is out there that I can meet, who I can connect with in totally different ways that are going to impact me so much. It just makes me really excited to be entering this kind of world, this dating world of total just freedom for me to just explore and figure out who it is that I am and what it is that I want in a relationship when I actually do get to the point where I'm going to be with one person for the rest of my life. I think this is a beautiful way to figure that part out, figure out what I want in somebody else, and also figure out who I am in the relationship, and how do I show up, and what works, what doesn't work that I'm doing. This is the perfect practice for this. And so it's just really, really exciting. And so to leave you with a question about how you can reflect on this into your own life, it would be, what have your what have your relationships taught you, the current relationships you're in and the past ones that you've been in. And this can be romantic or non-romantic. It could be like, relationships can be anything. They're all going to teach you something, but especially your romantic relationships, short-term, long-term, anything. What have you learned from each one? And this is a powerful question that I actually have not pondered, that I hadn't really pondered until I was in Cambodia, and I was with my friend Jay, and he asked me what I learned from my past relationships, and I couldn't even, and I was like, wow, I never even thought about this, which is interesting. I never even reflected on my past relationships about what I actually learned about them or about myself through them. And so it took me a while to think, and so and I remember doing some journaling about it after. So I'm really thankful that he asked me that question, because it was I think it's a powerful question. It's a really important thing to reflect on, because you learn so much from these relationships. It would be a shame to not, to let it go to waste, almost, to not even be conscious about what it is that shifted for you, what changed, how did that change you, and how did it impact your life. So I would encourage you to explore that and look back at your relationships, see how they've impacted you, and I would love to hear about it. So let me know if you want to talk about any of this stuff. I would love to hear from you. So send me a little voice memo on Instagram or whatever. Call me, do whatever. You can get in touch with me somehow, and let me know what you thought about this episode, and and tell me about what you've learned in your relationships. And yeah, so this is my last episode of 2022. Wow. Very exciting. This was the year that I started the podcast, and wow. Okay, I'm really excited to see what comes in the next year. Oh my goodness. Big things, you guys. Big things are coming. Thank you for listening this entire way through. Some of you guys have literally been listening since my first episode, so I love you so much. And yes, to all of you, thank you for being here and for listening to my love life. And yeah, it's been an interesting episode. The whole time I'm like, should I be saying this? Is this okay to say? I think so. It's fine. But yeah, I'm really happy that I talked about it, and yeah, I'm just really happy overall. So I love you all, and have an amazing new year, and I'll talk to you next year. Ha ha ha. Okay, I love you. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to the Friendly Frequencies podcast. I would absolutely love it if you could leave me a review on iTunes and Spotify and anywhere else that you are listening to this from. And what I will do is, for anybody that gives me both a review on Spotify and iTunes, I will send you my 30 plus hour long playlist that I have shared with many people over the last 2 years. I have been accumulating my favorite music, and I have not met a person who doesn't absolutely love the playlist. It will transcend you into just a beautiful state of mind and vibration, and I can literally guarantee you, no matter what music you listen to, you'll love this playlist. So send me a screenshot of the review, and it doesn't have to be a fully written one on Spotify, but on iTunes they do ask you to write something. So if you just write a few words on there, that would be great. Just screenshot it, send it to me through Instagram. My Instagram is Friendly Frequencies, and I will send you the playlist through there. Thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you next week.